Hello and welcome. Today I will share a quiet story with you, a story from a forest where silence speaks. Before we begin, let's arrive together. Take a slow breath in and gently breathe out. The secret pulse of the Indaing Forest. High in the ancient Butte Range, within the quiet embrace of the Indaing Forest, the mist clung to the canopy like a soft gray blanket. There stood an in tree, ancient, wise, older than the town resting far below on the plains. She lived in a profound and unwavering silence. Down in the town, life rushed forward. Voices overlapping, engines humming, machines roaring. But here, in the old-growth forest, time moved differently. The only sounds were the slow dripping of water from leaves and the gentle whisper of wind through branches. One day, our family set out on a hike into this forest, together with our beloved children, Gugu and Pam Pam, and our faithful dog, Charcoal. "Let me brief you before we begin," I said softly. "Climb the mountain slowly." "Shall we?" I asked. "Sure," they replied with a bright excitement. An hour later, their steps grew heavy. Sweat traced their effort, filled with noise and movement. At last, they reached a quiet ridge under an open blue sky. "We'll rest here for a moment," Gugu said. "That is a beautiful place to pause," I replied. "You have climbed carefully and now stand near the summit. So yes, let's rest." At first, the silence unsettled them. It felt thick, almost too heavy to hold. They sat. Minutes passed, then longer. Their thoughts raced at first, restless and loud. But the in trees did not speak. The forest asked nothing from them. Slowly, something began to shift. The silence was not empty. It was alive. Within it, they began to hear something they had long ignored, the gentle rhythm of their own breath. They realized how loudly their thoughts had been echoing inside them all along. "In this present moment," I whispered, "as you sit here on the ridge, notice your breath, and feel the contrast between this quiet and the memory of the city." And as evening approached, a deep stillness settled over the forest. Nothing stirred. The trees stood rooted and steady, holding the earth with quiet strength as they absorbed the fading light. Gugu, moved by the stillness, stopped fidgeting. She simply sat. In that moment, she felt something unfamiliar, yet deeply natural. Peace. She was not trying to achieve anything. She was not going anywhere. She was simply being. The forest revealed its quiet truth. Stillness is not empty. It is full of life that does not need to shout. Dusk slowly unfolded. In the solitude, something else emerged. Not the loneliness, but connection. Without the noise of people, without roles or expectations, Gugu felt herself as she truly was, one small part of a vast, intelligent, living world. "You see how the young trees hold the soil," I whispered. "How they prevent erosion and shelter life. We are only here, temporary and responsible." She watched the moss drink the rain. She saw ferns gently unfurl in the shade. And she understood. She was not separate from nature. She belonged to it. In that quiet, she heard the song of the Indaing Forest, a silent teaching. Everything has its season. There is strength in pausing. When Gugu returned to the city, she carried the forest within her. She was no longer rushing. She understood that healing her own life meant protecting the quiet places, both in the world and within herself. She had learned that silence, stillness, and solitude are not escapes. They are doorways, and through them we discover our deepest, truest selves. The hike was no longer about reaching the top. It became something else entirely. A quiet joy, a presence, a way of being alive in each step. Peace on the ridge was not the absence of struggle, it was the acceptance of the climb. And in that acceptance, there was arrival. Not the arrival of achievement, but the arrival of presence. The end. Now let me ask you something. When you are very quiet, what can you hear inside yourself? Have you ever felt peaceful just by sitting still? Next time you are outside, try to sit and listen like the forest. You don't need to go far to find peace. It is already within you. And when you care for nature, you are also caring for yourself. See you in the next story.